One of the main questions we get asked here is actually, what is a deal packager? So today I'll be going through exactly that, what a deal packager actually does. We'll also be talking about a property sourcer versus a deal packager, what the differences are. We'll also go through the whole consultational process, so what to expect, what the next steps usually are in this whole process. Hi, my name is Ashley and I'm a co-founder here at Property Packers. Let's get into it. A deal packager is someone who's able to find a property that represents a good value for a property investment opportunity for the clients, as well as providing detailed information on how best to move forward with that particular property. Now, there are a few things that I would expect a good deal packager to actually have. So they need to be aware of investment strategies. They need to understand the difference between BRR and a buy-to-let, and so forth, and other strategies. They also need to be able to take on information from their client. So take on the criteria and do the research to figure out exactly what is the best strategy, the best location to find that property. They also need to be aware of market updates, what's going on in an industry, where are interest rates at the moment. Probably one of the most important skills is they need to have good negotiation skills. So now moving from a good deal packager, moving them up to like a professional deal packager, they need to be compliant. So the main compliance areas that a deal packager needs to have is they need to be a member of the redress scheme, or TPO, which is the property ombudsman, which is an alternative. So you have assigned to redress scheme or the property ombudsman. They need to also be registered with the ICO. They also would be required to have professional indemnity and public liability insurance, as well as being signed up to AML. So yeah, so those things, if your deal packager doesn't have those things, they're not a professional deal packager, and yeah, you need to find one. In a later video, we'll be breaking down each of those different compliance areas so you can understand exactly what each area actually means and does, and how it does secure you and protect you. So watch this space. So a deal packager versus a property sourcer. So both will actually look for deals that an investor may not otherwise find. So the process goes as follows. You find an investment area, then you decide on what strategy you're going to use in that area, make sure it works, of course. And then you go about sourcing the property. Now, there's two ways of sourcing property. You can either do this on market or off market. So an example of an on-market approach would be to go to a traditional agent, estate agent, and see what they're currently advertising. And then an example of an off-market opportunity would go directly to the person selling the house. Usually in this case, you may have heard the term BMV. Usually in this case, you may try and negotiate maybe a bigger discount on the purchase of that house. Ultimately, you then make an offer and try to complete the deal. Now, the main differences between a property sourcer and a deal packager is that a property sourcer is more of a deal first approach. Now, what that means is they're going to go find deals before they have an idea of what it is their investor is looking for. So this approach works quite well if you already have a good relationship with investors and you spot a deal that you know an investor is going to want to kind of jump on, then this works great. Where a deal packager will actually go to a investor and find out exactly what they're looking for and then go and search for that property. So that's more of an investor first approach. I want you to really think about which approach best works for you. Would you prefer someone just to sort of send you emails of a bunch of deals that you may or may not be interested in? Or would you prefer more of a sort of a personal shopper experience? That's totally up to you. So what you would find with a property sourcer is that they'll find you a deal, and once it gets through conveyancing and gets to the exchange stage, they will then, the keys will be handed over to you. You guys shake hands and then kind of go your separate ways. Whereas a deal packager will try and go a little bit of a step further. They'll try and offer you a complete hands-off approach. So they'll then connect you to builders who potentially be taking on the refurbishment if there's refurbishment that needs to be done. They'll be connecting you with, letting agents that they've vetted already. If you're looking to sell, obviously that'll be estate agents that they've vetted already. So yeah, really depends on what your motivation is and what it is you're trying to get out of it. I mean, if you're lacking time or maybe experience, then you may find that the deal packaging route might be much better for you. Or if you feel, you already have a team in place, an A team in place, then a property sourcer may make sense to you. So it's totally up to you. It's your prerogative. But yeah, just make sure you're aware of the differences. So you've decided to go with a deal packager. Great. This is the process that most deal packagers do undertake when they're onboarding a client. So generally you would engage with maybe some content online, or you may meet a deal packager at a networking event. I mean, there's loads of different ways that you can potentially meet a deal packager, but those two tend to be the main ones. And then what they would do is obtain your contact details and try to negotiate a date and time to have the initial qualifying call. Now, on a qualifying call, they are looking to obtain three main bits of information. Number one is they're trying to obtain why property? Why have you decided to invest in property right now? Like, what's the motivation behind it? Number two, then they're going to ask you about strategies. Like, have you already looked into particular strategies? Have you looked at certain locations? And this is just to gauge an idea in terms of like, if you've done some research already, trying to see what your expectations currently are. And then the third and final thing they're trying to obtain, and most importantly, is your budget. Now, they're trying to see if your budget actually matches up to the strategies that you want to undertake. And, it's okay if it doesn't. They would then maybe offer a different strategy. So if you was looking to get into service accommodation, but you maybe didn't have enough of a deposit to buy a property to then have a service accommodation business, they may say to you, okay, well, why don't we try rent to SA in the meantime, while we're building up income and cash flow to be able, until you're able to buy your first purchase, your first house. Once we've obtained, those three very important bits of information, we'll try and arrange a date to have a follow-up consultational call, which will generally be a little bit longer. Could be anything from 20 minutes to 45 minutes. And this could be via Zoom, this could be in person. So it really depends on, I guess, the investor's availability. So and how the deal packager decides to conduct their business. What you'd also expect is, in between the time of the qualifying call and the consultational call, is that you will receive a couple of emails. And these emails will generally be like stuff like example deals, or if they've promised you any other material, like we offer why invest in property, also a why invest in Norwich. The day of the consultation is here. So on a consultational call, this generally is sort of between 20 to sort of 45 minutes, depending on what content the deal packager wants to go through with you. But you may talk about stuff like the example deal that they send you. You may want to talk about a little bit more about the process, how that works, like a step-by-step sort of guide. The deal packager may want to go through the investment area of you to kind of show you what area works best with what strategy. Once both parties are happy on a consultational call, the deal packager will send through a reservation form. Now, the reservation form will contain the criteria of what the investor is particularly looking for, so you being an investor. It would also go through the terms and conditions of the service the deal packager is offering, and there will be a section about the fees. Now, the fee, in most cases, is 50% of the deal packager's price, where they would expect to get the other 50% based on exchange of the property. But I want you to kind of, I want to just kind of touch on that first initial deposit, if you like, to the deal packager. Now, in most cases, this can be negotiated in the consultational call. But from a deal packager's perspective, what they are looking for from you is a level of commitment. Now, the fee or the monetary fee can be nominal, but what's most important is that they have confidence that if they go and find a deal, and I want you to kind of think about this. It takes time and sometimes resources to find these deals. So what they want from you is a certain level of commitment to say, you know, I'm with you. I trust you. I know you're going to find me something good. And then, you know, the process then works from there. The deal packager will go and find that deal for that investor. And then all happy days. So that'll be one thing, is a reservation form. They will also need to send you a additional form which will go through AML checks. So on this AML checks, it will just be a few identity questions, name, address, so forth. And then there'll also be a section that will ask you for proof of funds. Now, if the deal packager is speaking to agents to get you your deal, they will need the proof of funds to be able to progress any sort of bid they put forward. So, you know, this is definitely very, very important. And there may be some additional other contracts they may want you to sign, like an NDA, to say like any deal we send across to you, you're not going to try and sort of go around the deal packager and speak directly to that party to kind of get that deal. That's the process of a deal packager. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, like this video. It helps more than you know. The more people this get to, the more people can actually understand what the process is like to work with a deal packager, and can probably even get into property investing. At the end of the day, that's the goal. We want to build wealth. We want to help people build wealth. So yeah, the more people that can see this kind of type of content, the better. And if you were liking this on Instagram, please give us a follow, and speak to you guys soon. Peace out, property packers.